nice shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts because one, it's a t-shirt and it's comfortable, and two, because it says protect your energy. um, let's clear the space first. Okay, so I wanted to. Dang, I didn't open my water. I didn't open my water. I wanted to get on here to talk about knowing your power. Because I remember the time. First of all, I want to touch on something else first. I have to try to bridge two different, well, you may think they're two different topics. There's two different things that I'm going to try to bridge right now, which are prayer and magic. What I want you to know about prayer and magic is that they both open up portals. Oh my gosh. They both open up portals when you're doing them. So, I just received a message about that actually. So, prayer and magic both open up portals, right? This may be a reason why some of you actually get stuck in spiritual warfare. One, it might be your own magic or prayer that you're afraid of. Two, you're not closing up after you finish opening up that portal. So that's why you're constantly and consistently having to pray and pray and pray, because you've opened up something and now different things can come through. The title of the video is there because I want people to be able to know that you may be doing things, whether it's prayer, magic, manifestation, whatever you're doing, you actually might be afraid of your own power and you're not even knowing it. For example, when I first started off, I got deep into prayer, so I know how to reach the heavenly realms pretty quickly now, actually. Like, I could just say a few words or prayer or whatever, and I could just be there, boom, and call it down pretty fast. So, but when I first started doing that, I didn't realize what was happening. Like, I was praying, and it didn't happen right away. It was after probably a few times. And I started noticing, like, mostly the sky was getting dark, right? So I'm sitting there, not knowing what's happening, and thinking back on it now. Hi, Erica. Erica, give me a thumbs up. Please. So looking back on it now, I was sitting there and I'm like, why is there dark clouds coming around when I'm praying? Because I was opening a portal and I didn't know that. Erica, thumbs up. And so now I'm just like, whoa. Looking back, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's what was happening. I was opening a portal. People don't get told that because, you know, religion and magic, there's this huge thing where everybody's always fighting between it all, whatever. Well, I've had to learn a lot of different things in my own life to actually know what I'm talking about, to experience it for myself, to be able to actually help bridge and gap the centuries-old fight between religion and magic, religion and state, whatever. Hey, Rohith here. Mira. Hi, Kim. You guys, I don't see no thumbs up. Come on, man. So as you're praying or as you're doing any kind of divination, ritual, all those things, you're opening up portals, you're opening up spaces in different dimensions and realms. And you're not really taught how to, close it off. You can use simple words such as before you start your prayer, say your prayer. And when you're done, you know, state what your intentions are that you want to close that space um, so nothing can come through it. Like, let's say, for example, you're praying at nighttime. You open the portal, but you didn't say anything after that. You didn't close it. Now it's open. Now you can get harassed in your dreams, in your home. Anything can be sent to your home. Things like that. Because that space is open. And like I said, even if you are praying, and even if you are praying in the heavenly realm, it's still a portal, and things still can come through. So as you're praying, and if you see, like, there's always a lot of signs in the sky, whether you're praying or doing magic. And when you're first beginning, you can actually scare yourself because you're not, you might not know what's going on. And if you're like me and you were indoctrinated for freaking a millennia, years and years into religion, being brainwashed into religion, then you're going to be afraid of it, because religion can place you in a space where you're on a fear timeline, meaning that you're praying, things are happening, you're seeing signs and wonders, and still you're afraid of it because you're very religious, because you were indoctrinated in religion. So now you're afraid of what's happening, not knowing it's your own power, it's your own magic, it's your own prayer, it's your own words. It is your own intentions. So you can very well and very much begin to be afraid of that. And I've already known personally that I've gotten a lot of messages on my whole spiritual journey about being a bridge to be able to connect not only different realms and dimensions to this world, but also to be able to bridge and gap different things such as religion and magic. So my whole purpose of this video, though, is to tell you, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're feeding your spirit, don't be afraid of your own power and your own magic, because people want you to be afraid of that. They want you to think it's them, and then you can continue to say, oh, this person's doing this person's doing that. Do you know what happens when you do that? You're giving your power away to whoever, and they're taking it. They will take it. So that's not fair to yourself to do that. For me, being in a shamanic calling, that's like the main thing, that the title that I claim now, because that's the main part of my work and what I'm doing here in this world. Is the shamanic calling actually calls to learn different things, a lot of different things, like different religions, traditions, just basically any type of spirituality you can think of. I try to ingest it and learn about it, everything, all of it, good, bad, whatever you want to call it. And as with everything, I don't care if you believe in spirituality or religion, either one can be used for good or bad. You know what I mean? Like, so for example, in order to know how to clear or take off a spirit off of somebody, you have to pretty much know. Well, I guess you don't have to. You can know how to take it off without knowing, but it would be a good idea to probably know how that spirit was put on that person. You know what I mean? In order to be educated about it. And maybe you can let them know then, so that way they don't have that problem again. My freaking dreads are falling out already. I think my hair is growing too fast. And I can't fix it. But anyway, I gotta tell my friend. Ugh. So, yeah, so learning about different religions, different things, like that's what I all had to do in order to even step into this type of calling, which is in the beginning it's super difficult to even learn anything. Like what I'm telling you about opening portals and stuff, I had to learn that on my own. Nobody told me that. Like nobody told me that. Maybe I was guided by spirit, ancestors, and things like that, but like in a physical human level, like nobody taught me what was going on and what was happening, which is why it was so scary, because I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is there darkness coming around, you know? But I've noticed whenever you do any kind of ritual, ceremony, magic, prayer, any of those things, literally, like, there's changes that happen in the atmosphere. Even actually also with worshiping, singing in general. Singing, because it's the frequency that changes and shifts the atmosphere. So like if it's a really high vibrational song, then it's going to shift the atmosphere. Like one of my favorite ones, gosh, what's his name? Just look up atmosphere shift and you'll see that song. That one's anointed, actually. That one's super anointed. So like it's not even just because it's high vibrational, it's more of because it's anointed, that song. And so if you feel like you want the atmosphere to shift for better, look up that song. That's a good one. There's plenty of other ones too. But yeah, so like when you're going on a day-to-day basis throughout your life, if you don't know how to step into your power, if you don't know how to walk with confidence, one tip would be to keep your head lifted up. I remember at the retreat that one of the beautiful Maori sisters, she said, keep your head lifted up. That's a good tip, because if you're walking down and you just move like that's not confident. You want to walk with your head lifted high, like you own the place, or even you own the sidewalk or the vehicle you're in or whatever. Keep your head lifted up, you know what I mean? That's one good tip to stay in your confidence and in your power. You have to embody it pretty much. So by embodying it, your own power, lifting your head up is a very simple and small way to be able to do so. Another way to embody your power would be to speak with confidence. If you speak with confidence, then you sound like, even if you don't know what you're talking about, you sound like you know what you're talking about. Speak with confidence, clarity. Another way to walk in your own personal power, no matter what your belief is, you can, or what you need it for, if you need it for like business purposes as well, you can keep your head lifted up, speak with confidence, but also when you walk into a room, Don't be afraid to take up space with your energy, meaning stand tall with your head up and back and just walk into there like, even if it's somewhere you've never been before, walk into the room like you've been there before and you know where everything is. So taking your power back and reclaiming your power has a lot to do with energetic embodiment. Now that I'm speaking about it, if you know, I'm saying like your energetics and your energy is going to speak for you. Your auric field is going to speak for you when you walk into a room or when you just go about your day-to-day business. I'm trying to think of other ways that you can embody your strength and your own power. So what I was talking about with the portals and prayer and magic and all those things, you cannot, when you're doing those, even if you see signs and things happening, whatever, you cannot be afraid of it. And the reason why you cannot be afraid of it is because it could be your own stuff that's coming from you with whatever you're doing. And you're not going to be able to learn if you fear it, you know? You won't be able to learn as well if you're sitting there fearing something that you're possibly creating, you know? Oh, and being on that religion fear timeline as well, unfortunately, that can also keep you stuck in spiritual warfare with you thinking that it's someone else, but also giving away your own power for them to be able to mess with you like that purposely. So if you're gonna sit here and say, oh, like they're doing this, they're doing that, whatever, even though people may be, that doesn't mean that you want to give away your own personal power by saying those things. You want to accept that maybe it's something that you're actually doing that's creating these certain effects, because like I said, you're opening portals, you're opening space. And please do not forget to close it up, so not just anything and everything can come through, not only to bug you, but your neighbors, your family, whatever, attachments, all those things. You don't want those, to stay on you. So, yeah. Love y'all, beautiful souls. Thank you for joining. And anyone who pops back on again, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Love y'all, beautiful souls.